Hey guys, welcome to my mind chimes, or welcome back. This is where I'm going to try to strain the American propaganda through the truth serum of common sense. So if you're sick of huffing on the pipe of political manipulation, stick with me. Thanks for tuning in. So the first story I have today is how our boy Donnie is bailing on Taiwan. After 50 years of building a hedge against communism, Trump decided to quit. What do we get in exchange? Taiwan is the world's biggest semiconductor manufacturer in the world. 97% of all chips are made there. So giving away Taiwan to China gives China all access to most of America's tech infrastructure, from cars to computers to military defense. China will have access to all of the software since Trump wants to turn Taiwan over to China. This is worse than the oil deal and the energy infrastructure and the food debacle that he created in Iran. I mean, giving everything away to China is ridiculous. In News of the Strange, thousands of people, and I'm going to add this, thousands of people gathered at the National Mall to pray for lower prices and cheap fuel in order to drive to church. These folks believed the founders of America were Christian, which is pretty funny. They were table knockers and spiritualists. Ben Franklin was a notorious table knocker. They believed religion was poison. Trump did a video of himself reading scripture. Like he wrote the Bible himself, and the sadly misguided cultists, it made them feel good. Speaking of zealots, Pete, give me a drink, Hegseth, held a prayer vigil demanding show no mercy on those who he deems an enemy. Unbelievable. Let every round find, I'm quoting him here, let every round find its mark against the enemies of the righteousness and our great nation. Hegseth prayed during the live stream service. Give them wisdom in every decision, endurance for the trial ahead, unbreakable unity, and overwhelming violence of action against those who deserve no mercy. I'm sorry, using the Bible to kill. That's your religion. Count me the fuck out. There's a historian, Ron Stahl, from the University of Berkeley, said, in a nation with no establishment of religion per the Constitution, what does it mean to have a leader bring not just broadly religious views or religious in a pluralistic sense, but religion is in a very particular sense? May their God have mercy on both these man's souls. Couldn't have said it better. Now, let's move south and this is a story that mainstream media is not going to be covering, and that's the border. Trump promised to build that wall, and sure enough, it's not going to happen. But I think it could happen because he likes to waste our taxpayers' money. But the U.S.-Mexico border wall construction is, unbeknownst to anybody in the mainstream media, desecrating sacred sites. It's 170 indigenous sites all along the border, and these things have been a split between Mexico and the United States and considered sacred land for these people, for the indigenous people. And all I can say is, haven't we done enough to those who own the land we wrongly call our own? It's only a cultural site, I suppose, if it's painted in gold and has Trump's fat dollar bill ass on it. The Trump administration's program to check voter eligibility has been on a roll. It's just the same old thing. When you can't win the vote outright and fairly, you change the rules and move the goalposts. This is what cheaters do, and Trump is a cheater and exploiter. I think this might blow up in Don's face. At least 67 million registrations have been sorted through in Republican-controlled states. They've gone through beefed-up verifications in order to disqualify tens of thousands of people who have been flagged as potential non-citizens or people who have died. Some states allow only a month for people to prove their eligibility once they've been disqualified, and others suspended immediately. These things, these news stories, they're messed up and they make absolutely no sense to me. But as we move through all of these times, November can't get here fast enough, and we shall see exactly what Don does. Who knows? He's unpredictable. He's turning 80. Life expectancy in the United States is 79. He's 1 year past his expiration date. Whether he makes it to November, who knows? His birthday, ironically, is on Flag Day. Let's just hope that the last shreds of democracy can hold on and we can start rebuilding. It's really not going to happen until the presidential election and we go through the Senate and House again and reelect a Democratic majority. In this country, all of the things that we have, funding of universities, research, all of the things that are what made this country really great, that was all started with FDR. And for 50 years, the Democratic Party held Congress. And then Newt Gingrich, not Wayne Newton, Newt Gingrich, same guy. Newt Gingrich came along and he and Bill Clinton kind of modulated the social safety net that was there and started to sell the government to private enterprise. And today we have a corporatocracy run by oligarchs. And that's where we are today. Now, how do we get it back? There are tons and tons of young, really keen politicians that are being put forth by the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party, Chuck Schumer wants to hold on in his dotage. A lot of the old guys want to hang around, but it's time to pass the baton. Time to pass on to the youth, because these people claim themselves to be democratic socialists. Now, let's not go letting the media and propagandists just take that word and put it on the heap of culture junk pile, the cultural junk pile of liberalism and progressivism and socialism. Good God. For a country that's never experienced any of those things, to think that they're bad or think that there's something wrong with them is a sure sign of indoctrination and brainwashing. I made a couple of interesting posts this week, and I'm just going to review them really quick. One of the posts that seemed to be hit really well was that I pointed out the fact that the Trump administration has spent $45 billion on incarcerating people who have not had their day in court. $45 billion to build and refurbish shopping malls and warehouses and turn them into prisons to hold people who have never, ever been tried in a court of law. Just rounded up and stuffed into these buildings in pretty much inhumane conditions. And $45 billion gets you a lot of square footage, so don't be surprised if it doesn't lap over into other areas beyond immigrants. And the post I posted was the fact that instead of spending $45 billion on prisons, Barack Obama, during his presidency, he became the first sitting president ever to visit with incarcerated men who were in federal prison for life. That's an incredible act of understanding and compassion, and highlighting not just the fact that we incarcerate people at an inhumane rate pre-Trump, just highlighting the fact that there needs to be a better understanding of what led these men to end up in federal prison for life. And President Obama shined a light on those very issues by going and visiting these men in prison. I thought it was the highlight of his presidency, to be honest with you. I thought that was so bold, such courage, because a lot of people believe that there are no second chances in life. And these men really, some of the crimes are heinous, and certainly there may not be room for a second chance, but we have to be able to find out how they got there, what went wrong with our society, and how people end up incarcerated. I thought that was a pretty good post, and it really did hit for a lot of people, which I was really happy with. Also, just thinking about other things that kind of popped up into my mind, just seeing how we're so busy worried about Trump when we should be worried about congressional elections in the House of Representatives in November. And we should be picking up and picking out the best candidates. And now, one of the things, too, is you have to vote smart. Most people, they're all or nothing voters, which is kind of the thing that killed the Democratic Party. One perfect pet issue for you is going to make you not vote for the well-being of the country. And that kind of is dumb, as the Republicans have laughingly proved. I know we all have certain pet issues, but we were running a secret truth test among our Democratic politicians, saying if you're not this and this and this and this and this, then I can't vote for you, or I'm just going to vote for someone else. And it seriously cost the Democratic Party and this country, and I think it's about to cost us our democracy and our rights to vote. And we're certainly tipping into an authoritarian oligarchy, and there's plenty of Trump heirs ready to grab the wheel once Don leaves office. It's important to make sure that you vote Democratic. Certainly, you are not going to get the perfect Democratic candidate, but you have to be able to make sure that you're getting a Democratic candidate. Done. Simple. Get the Democrats elected so that at least they can run the committees and control the money that comes through Congress. And then in 2 more years after the midterms, we can bum rush the White House with a Democratic candidate too. But I think a lot of people, one little side bit here, a story, I went back to my homeland in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. And normally when I drive through there, the place is plastered with Trump signs, and coming up on local elections and primaries here, they have their local candidates who are Trump candidates, and then they have Trump signs everywhere. But interestingly enough, the place had been vanquished of all Trump support signs. And I'm not kidding you, it was zero, none. Normally, there'd be one every 15 feet. But something's tipped in Trump land. And I don't know if it's Trump and his foreign policy or what, but yeah, he has kind of messed up here. But hopefully that all sticks. A handful of Tea Party people who were down there praying at the mall on Sunday, I don't think that's enough to quite get him elected. And certainly most of the Catholics I know, they won't be voting for a guy who bashes the Holy Father. But anyway, I saved my pancreatic cancer update for last because I don't even want to draw people in on that, because I think it's kind of weird, but it's coming along. I'm coming up on my 3rd chemo treatment on Wednesday. I've got my routine down. I'm feeling great. I'm going golfing tomorrow. 90-degree heat though, so I'm going to have to wear some sunblock and keep my head covered, because apparently the platinum that they're pumping through me, it makes me highly allergic to the sun. Now, if I could say I was going to get a really great suntan, I would probably go for it. But apparently you can burn and you can get really messed up by it. Plus, I don't want my oncologist to mistake me having a nice suntan for turning jaundice. Don't want to be jaundice and have him say, "Oh my God, what's wrong with you?" I'll cover up out there in the sun and hopefully play well. And I really am thankful that my friends have kept supporting me as I golf with them. My group is very supportive, and they haven't said, "We don't know if you're going to be there for another round, so we're going to move on." They haven't done that. So they kept me in the loop and kept me golfing, which is so nice, very thoughtful. I suck at golf, by the way. I really do. Sometimes I'll hit a good shot, and that's enough for me. And I'm super non-competitive, so yeah, that's where I am on my pancreatic journey. Hey, truthfully, thank you all for listening and watching the videos. I'm just going to do videos from now on because I'm getting a little more comfortable speaking in front of a camera, and also taking little bits and pieces from an outline on the teleprompter if I can. Hopefully it's not too stiff, and hopefully I don't appear to be reading verbatim from a script. But yeah, I think it's important. And I think it's very important that everybody uses their voice. You got to get out there, use your voice, whether it's posting on Facebook, liking my videos, sharing my videos even. That's a lot. You're doing a lot just by doing that. You're doing your share. If you want to stop Trump, save democracy, you got to get the word out. And ordinary people like myself have to get out there and really shake it up because people are in a coma. These cultists don't know. And a lot of people who will see this video will be upset because I dare say the good Lord Trump's name in vain. I come out against pretty much 100% what he stands for. And you can go back, watch the video again, try to make a little more sense of what I've said, and also, too, use your own discerning thoughts. Explore what I've said. Go into it a little bit deeper. Find out what you can learn about some of the subjects that I brought up on your own, because the internet is great. You can use AI, type in, find out. AI is a little bit too neutral on things, but if you do some research, find some decent theses out there that you can read about the subject matters that I brought up in this vlog, I would recommend that highly, because this will either strengthen my point of view or prove me wrong. But you can comment on this video. It's on Substack. Just search Carl's Mind Chimes on Substack, and you can watch the video, enjoy my banter and fun things. I wish I don't really have a story from the immediate past other than the golf stuff, which I mentioned. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Share this to all your friends. And yeah, that's it for today. Hopefully we'll see you soon. Probably not tomorrow. Wednesday is the chemo, so maybe Thursday, maybe Friday. But yeah, definitely by Monday next week I'll be back. But regardless, you can like and share and subscribe wherever you get your videos and podcasts and information. Ordinary people have to rise up. So let's do it. Hey, that's my new son. Let's do it. I'm going to do that every time. Let's do it. Okay, cool. Thanks for watching.